Library Director, Darci Hildebrand. Thanks for being here.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me today. It's an exciting time at Wamego Public Library. We're having a ribbon cutting ceremony tomorrow as our construction project is complete. So I'm happy to share some photos with you and get to talk to you a little bit about how that all happened. I joined the Wamego Public Library team in March of 2019. So I've been here just a little over 5 years. I got a year under my belt before the pandemic hit, which was more than some people got. So I was grateful to have that experience before dealing with all new things. I have a master's degree in early childhood education from Kansas State University, and I taught in that department for 9 years before coming to the library position. My library board was looking for someone who could build relationships in the community and do fundraising and get this building project started. And happily, we've been able to start it and finish it while I've been here. Let's see, like many of you, I'm an accidental librarian. I came upon this very unexpectedly, so it's been a joy. I have found that my degree and background has been helpful, along with um, any skills that you might gain as a bartender or a social worker. I had no idea coming into this job that those would be such essential skills. But great listening has been definitely something that has been important in this role. Next up, I think, is a little about my city.
That's right. A little bit about Wamego, please.
There's our new beautiful building. We waited till like 9:15 to take that photo, so glad it turned out so beautiful. You can see the expansion part there on the back side of the building without the old Pizza Hut roof. We're excited to be done. So Wamego is a small town. We have about 4,900 people that live here. We're known for Oztoberfest and our little Oz Museum that's on the same street as the library, as well as our amazing fireworks show on the 4th of July, which gives us the nickname of Boomtown. We do have Toto sculptures around town. So you can find those in front of various businesses. I think ours is the cutest. It has those cute ruby red glasses and decoupaged in book pages, and of course has a Wizard of Oz book there that Toto is reading. If you come probably the rest of the summer, you'll find that our Toto is actually getting a spa treatment and is not in front of the library right now, but will be replaced at some point. Let's see. We're also known for our volunteerism, and that was definitely evident the last 2 weeks of May when we were hurrying to move back into the renovated side of the building before summer reading got started on June 3rd. We were under quite a deadline, and we had over 300 hours logged by volunteers that helped us build shelving and move boxes and put furniture together, and then finally put the books on the shelves to get ready to open up. So it's been quite a whirlwind. That picture there on the right is of the original Caw Valley State Bank building. They were gracious enough to donate the building to the city for the purposes of a library. Prior to it becoming the library, it lost its second story. The rumor has it that the bank found that it was inefficient to heat and cool. And so they took the second story off of the building. And that's why we are a one-story building with a basement now.
How interesting. They
Yeah.
they were they were probably wise. If anybody who has a two-story smaller library, how difficult it is to staff multiple floors. It might have been for the best.
Right. Although we do miss the space. I
Yeah.
think of how lovely it would be to sit by those windows and have a look outside while you're cozying up with a book. Not that I have time to do that while I'm here, but
Yeah.
we can all
Right.
dream, right?
Right. Well, let's start talking a little bit about well, did you have anything else to say about how the library operates as
Oh,
far as
sure. Yeah.
staffing,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff? How many folks are working there and
Well,
volunteering?
it's been interesting. We have 11 staff, 4 are full-time, and they have programming responsibilities on top of working a circulation desk or being in an area. And then we have 7 part-time, and they fulfill interlibrary loan responsibilities, some website maintenance, email newsletter, those kind of things, as well as working circulation desks. It has been interesting. We for the last 2 years we've gotten much smaller before we got bigger. And so navigating all of the different staffing issues and where we actually needed people and how it was going to function. And then all of a sudden we're here and it's the busiest time of the year. And we have this new larger space to try and staff has been a growing process for us. So we have a circulation desk down in the basement where the young adult area is, and we have someone staffed there during open hours. And then we have a children's library desk that is also staffed while we're open, and then a main circulation desk on the main floor. So all three of those spots are have a staff person there all the time while we have open hours. We are open 10 to 7 Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5 on Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturday. And we're closed on Sundays, so that's a total of 47 hours a week. We have a 7-member board, like many of you. Our mayor just started coming and attending our board meetings in 2024. So that's been a really nice addition to our group. And like I said, the bank, or the Caw Valley State Bank, donated the building in 1999. And so the city owns the building, which has made construction on a city-owned building for another entity a really interesting process. And I know many of you have gone through it or are getting ready to go through it. And it comes with its own unique challenges. And the staff here are not considered city employees. I know some libraries have that in their organization as well, but we are separate from the city employees. Just the building is involved with the city. So it's kind of interesting.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure that makes it complicated to do those building projects. All right, let's talk about what we're really here for today. Is we're talking
Yay!
about the library space. So, what can you share about the physical space? Here's some photos to get us started. Just however you want to navigate this
Okay.
whole project for us. We have a good amount of time where we can really just focus on this.
Okay, super. So on the construction photo there is our groundbreaking that happened October 7th of 2022. And then our ribbon cutting, like I said, is tomorrow. So we fully opened on June 3rd, 2024. So it was a long haul. I would not necessarily recommend living in this space while the construction is happening, but that was something our city commissioners really felt strongly about. And of course, we wanted to continue to provide services. So we made it work, but it was definitely, it made it so we touched all of the boxes and furniture so many times because we had to move them so many times before they got to their permanent location. And that was a test of endurance for sure. On the right-hand side, you'll see our book brigade. I talked about our volunteers. This was in earlier, right after the ribbon cutting. We moved to the children's library upstairs because they were going to start working in the basement level. And so they moved over 7,000 items by a long chain of adults and kids and board members and lots of community members. So it was really fun to see everybody come together and help us make that happen. It also came with its own challenges, but overall, I would highly recommend it. It was a great way to get the community involved.
We've had previous guests talk about the book brigade. So I would say if you're gonna do something where you're moving things, it seems like it's a real hit. It seems like
Yeah,
people
it
brings
was.
people together.
Yeah, it was definitely a favorite by the community. They all enjoyed participating.
Yeah.
So let's
Um,
see. So we've just completed then a $3.2 million renovation. Some funds came from the city, about half. And then the rest of it was fundraised and grants. You can see our donor wall there on the right at the lovely little seating area. I really wanted our donor wall to look like more like a piece of art, and it has definitely caused people to linger and actually read the names and look at the installation. So we've been really pleased with how that turned out. A local artisan, I guess I'll say, who does a lot of woodworking, partnered up with a metal worker that he works with frequently, and they took my idea off Pinterest and made it even better. So we're really happy with how that turned out. The left-hand side then is our children's library, and that space is in our new addition. So I'll kind of talk about the new addition first. That's what took from October through December of 2023, and October 22 to December of 23. And during that time, we lived on one floor in the old library space. Lots of things were packed up, and we got lots of in kind storage contributions that we utilized a lot. The new space then now houses our children's library that's on the main floor, which is a definite upgrade from the basement. And we love seeing families able to navigate so much easier to bring those huge wagon strollers. Have y'all seen those? The big wagon strollers in with all their kids and all their bags of books, and just be able to come in off Fifth Street and come right into the children's library. So that space got set up with all new furnishings the way it was going to stay. So when we had to move out of the existing building into the new addition space, all the rest of the materials and people had to function out of our programming space that's in the basement for 5 months. So it was an interesting thing to navigate. But my staff is awesome and very flexible. And so we made it work, and we're glad that part's over. But so right below the children's library is our programming space. It now will hold about 120 people. And one of the items that got pulled out of our initial building contract was a retractable wall, because we had to cut a few things out that we didn't think we had budget for. And I'm happy to say that at our last community match day, we were able to raise enough funds to now have the retractable wall getting installed next week. So that will be a really exciting addition. To have two programs happening at the same time in that large meeting room will just double the amount of things that can happen. Those after school times are so popular for meeting reservations or library events that it'll make it much easier to meet the needs of the community. Okay, so that's kind of the new side. So we lived like that for 5 months. And then, like I said, the last 2 weeks of May, things were done. And we moved in from just surviving in the new side to the renovated side as well. And that space now includes adult fiction, adult large print, audiobooks, our rotating collection, and our DVDs, along with 6 patron computers and a new circulation desk. We have 2 small meeting rooms. One holds 4 and one holds 6 in that on that main level as well. And they've been incredibly utilized this summer, particularly with tutoring and lots and lots of meetings that are happening. So that's been really exciting to see them being used. We do have an old bank vault. And there was discussion for probably the last 15 years about trying to whether we should remove that bank vault or not. It is right in the middle of the floor plan, so it does chop things up. But it is also quite a tourist attraction. People love to come in and see the old vault door in all of its glory. And so we have decided to turn that into our library of things. So currently it has disc golf kit bags and pickleball kits and chess kits for a couple of outdoor chess boards we have at our city park, and some bird watching backpacks. So we're now taking input from the community on what they would like to see. And that means more grant writing will be happening this coming year to try and fill up our library of things with items people want to check out. So it's been really fun. I know there's lots of KLA sessions and Facebook groups that are devoted to the library of things. So it's been fun to look and see what other people have that is popular and things that are people enjoy checking out.
Yeah. Darci, I just wanted to point out that people love your donor wall. I love your donor wall. It's great. When I saw it on my phone, of course, I couldn't really tell what it was. And I was like, oh, that's so great. But the photos are really great quality. Some of them kind of look like a render of what you should expect the turnout to look like. And this is what it turned out like. I love the repeating of like the woods. So like in the right, I just love how you've kind of the donor wall goes with the pillar, goes with the plant
Yay!
basket, and then on the left you see the same. And I mentioned before, just the colors are just modern but soothing. But and the quality of the photos is good. We should mention that these were professionally taken, the photos. Is that right?
Yes, they were. Our architecture firm, BBN, came and did professional photos for us. uh, in the last week or so. I guess it's been 2 weeks. So yes, they were gracious enough to give us permission to use these photos in marketing and however we needed to use them. So I was so happy that they arrived in time for you to drop them into these slides.
Yeah.
So we'll go down to the basement. There's one more view of the children's room there on the right too, with a couple of AWE computers. And what's lovely about the new children's space is there is space for families to stay and play. We've been so crowded for so long that for them to be able to engage and build with blocks or get out the pretend, food and set up a restaurant right there in the space is really fun to see them engaged. Especially with my early childhood heart. So I do enjoy spending time in that space. Um, the young adult gaming room is down in the basement. So from that front staircase, if you head downstairs, we have the young adult collection in this room as well. And then there's a gaming area that is the back part of the room. It is closed off with a glass door and a little glass wall. So there's great visibility, but if it gets a little bit rowdy, we can close that door. That was all purchased with ARPA funds. So some of that furniture has been in storage since like 2021, and honestly we couldn't even really remember what we'd ordered. So it was like Christmas getting to open that up and put all of those things in place. And it's been a really popular area. Of course, they pass an internet safety quiz. It's for kids that are 10 and up, and they have a parent sign a gaming permission form. But it's got 4 gaming computers and then a Switch and an Xbox One for kids to be engaged down there. There's also a restaurant booth next to a shelf of board games, and we've seen that get a lot of use as well. Giant Uno seems to be the game of the summer, so that's been great feedback to see those teens back in their space.
Yeah. Classic to have the booth. Good choice. I had a couple of questions. First, about the gaming computers. We have libraries. They want to do gaming. We've set them up with Steam accounts. Have the library buy the games. Can you tell us how the consoles seem to make it a little bit easier because it's just put a game in it. How do you manage PC gaming, if you don't mind going a little off the rails?
Well, primarily what we see getting utilized on our PCs is Fortnite and Roblox. And so we do a weekly update of those programs. So we get out of our deep freeze and update those so they can get all the new skins or whatever characters that they've added on. But those are primarily the two games that we see utilized on those computers. They can log in if they've got their own accounts. We just ask that they don't do first-person shooter games, and so and they're very respectful of that as well. And then for the Xbox and Switch, they just use games that we have at the library. So that eliminates them bringing things in or things being, inappropriate for
Yeah.
the age group that's there.
Great, thanks. Yeah, we've tried to do Fortnite. It has updates, like you said, weekly. I think that even has like more frequently than weekly.
It
It's like
probably
every
does.
day. So
Yes.
that could be a challenge. I know that we've run into because of deep freeze, thawing that. And we've done some things where like maybe we try a thaw space on like a secondary drive so that the game. I don't know. It's tough, but I think it looks great. Your whole gaming area.
Well, and the kids keep us informed on what we need to do differently, and we take their feedback and try to meet the needs with also keeping them safe. So it's been a great space, and like I said, really fun to have that age group back in the library. They got kind of pushed to the side for a little while when we just were running out of space. So it's great. The rest of the basement then is dedicated to our nonfiction collection. So we've got some yearbooks and genealogy resources and like cemetery plots, all of those kind of things are housed downstairs. And we've been able to snuggle in about 4 different seating areas so folks can spend time working or using the Wi-Fi and engaging with the materials downstairs. We also have a dedicated used book sale space for our friends. We take book donations, and it has a space now where the donations can go right to the back table, and then volunteers come in every week and sort through the materials and shelve the new items that have been donated. We did find a couple of years ago, we switched to $5 for a bag of books, and we provide plastic grocery sacks. And the friends make between like $300 and $400 a month on the book sale, and we get lots and lots of donations in. It just rotates through so often. So we have been without that for about 5 months. So again, that's been a really nice addition to have back, and it brings in folks that might not always utilize the library too. That's what's fun about having all these different spaces, and meeting the needs of all these different age groups, is it brings in so many people for so many different reasons. And then you would head into our programming space, also down in the basement. So again, we're looking forward to utilizing that for a lot of different community meetings, and as well as library events. And I think I'll head into kind of our summer reading programming. Um, this one here is Cooks and Books. That happens on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are wild here. You can see that line out the door. That is folks lining up at about 9 a.m. For a 9:30 distribution of our Cooks and Books bags. Cooks and Books is a partnership with the school district food service department, and the Quilt Guild is also really involved in Cooks and Books. So Laura Fales takes care of choosing the recipes, and she does food demonstration videos for each of the 6 weeks of summer reading. And the kids then can come in and pick up an ingredient bag that has all the ingredients they need for that particular snack. Then they can take it home, and with their families, they can watch the demonstration video and make that snack together. Today's snack is energy bites. So it had oatmeal and almonds and cranberries, and did it have some brown sugar? I can't even remember what we packed this morning. We have 80 bags per week, and we distribute 50 of them in the morning, and then we save 30 of them for 5:30 distribution time for those working families. The other component is the toolkit, and you'll see there all the little colorful tote bags. Our Quilt Guild made 100 tote bags this year, and I write grants, and we fill them with essential kitchen tools like measuring cups, measuring spoons, a cutting board, a spatula. And every year it's a little bit different based on the recipes that Laura chooses for that summer. And each family gets one bag for the entire summer. So they're usually gone by week 2. Sometimes we have a few left for week 3. But that shows the kind of the amount of families that we're serving through this one program. This morning, when the kids picked up a bag, one bag would actually feed 2 kids. It made like 12 protein balls. So that's another way that we stretch the way that we're able to serve families a little bit farther. But it's a wonderful partnership. It's something you could replicate in your own community with the right partnerships. And it's our most requested summer program by far. Obviously, you can see its popularity. It really started with Laura and I discussing ways that we could do in-person cooking classes, and then the pandemic hit, and we had to try to figure out how we could do it with a hybrid model. And it's been so successful that we have just continued to do this framework for the last 4 summers. And it's so fun. Laura also highlights books. We cultivate a collection that matches the theme of the recipe. So if it's trail mix, maybe we do hike and a camping cookbook, and we try to hit adult and kids, and even young adult when we can. And she will highlight those books in her videos too. And then we have a Cooks and Books display at the library where people can check out more if they're interested in continuing to cook.
So you mentioned the video part, and I know you guys do some other video stuff too, which is awesome. Can you just say what the Cooks and Books just video type thing is, what the format, length, that kind of thing?
Yeah, they're pretty short. Laura does them at the district kitchen most often. I think this summer she did some of them at actually her home kitchen. Her husband took on a COVID hobby of video editing. So he donates his time and expertise to edit her videos that she does. And they're available on our website or on our Facebook page. So if you go to our website and hit the programs tab, it's down in the bottom. It'll have all the Cooks and Books recipes and videos for the year. They're pretty short. We know kids' attention spans aren't very long. She typically tries to talk about hand washing and food safety and some basic cutting and kitchen skills while she's demonstrating how to put all those ingredients together. So really fun. I encourage you to check it out.
Thanks for detailing that. We
Sure.
have about 4 minutes left to talk about some other programs and partnerships.
Okay. So these are just some other partnerships that we have that also involve programs. We have a permanent story walk out at our park, and we have a sponsorship program where businesses, organizations, or individuals can sponsor a story walk for $100. And their book is out for an entire month. They get to dedicate it to someone. And then to try and track attendance, we use QR codes for people to sign the guest book. And whoever is chosen from those entries gets a copy of the book. So that's been a really great way to continue to be able to change out the story walk every month and not kill our budget. The other two pictures are from partners that we had this summer at our story times in the park. The GFWC ladies write a Thrivent grant and provide $250 toward purchasing books that kids can actually take home from story time. So the book is read during the storytime session, and then they get to take it home and read it again. And then in the middle is our children's librarian, Cora, and then Sarah from Flint Hills Fitness. She comes and does yoga poses with the kids for one of the story times. It's a great way to promote her business and also for the kids to learn some yoga moves. And again, just support those businesses that are in our community and get them involved with library patrons.
Well, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about sponsored story walks, so I think that's a really interesting point, and maybe a way to keep it kind of fresh. Um,
Mm-hmm.
can, uh, and it seems like you're doing this a lot, whether it's writing grants for programs, but also looking for those key partnerships. I guess you just have to go out and ask. Is that
You do.
how do people find out about this opportunity to get their name out there?
I think the first year obviously was the hardest, but since then it's been really easy. People typically seek us out. They know of an upcoming event. Someone's this was Michelle's 70th birthday, and her grandkids actually volunteer and help us change out the story walk. So that's how they became familiar with it and wanted to honor their grandma for her birthday. But we do have lots of organizations, even the schools. We've had the middle school civics class actually write a book and want to have it out at the story walk. We've had the theater department want to tie something together with the musical that they're doing, and the kids actually will record either reading the story or singing a song that's in the book. And then the folks can use the QR code to hear the story read to them while they go around the story walk.
Wow.
So a lot of it's just social media and getting a few key people to know about it that will then either be return customers or they'll share
Yeah.
that with someone else.
Well, we're pretty much out of time, but I just kind of wondered if you could just let us know what you're hearing from people. I know you haven't had the ribbon cutting yet, but I'm guessing people have been poking around and looking at the space. They're loving
Uh,
it, I assume.
Yes, we actually, I was getting my board packet ready and we had over 5,400 people visit in the month of June.
Wow.
That's very high traffic for us. So it's been incredible. We had 120 new card holders in the month of June. I'm trying to think what were some of the other numbers, like 1,900 Wi-Fi and computer uses. So a lot of busyness happening here at the library. And much like you said, folks, thank goodness, are loving the color choices
Yeah.
and they're enjoying the little nooks and crannies where they can find a space and hang out and spend time here. So
Well,
we've had a lot of additional folks want to volunteer at the library, which has been wonderful. They're wanting to fill out a volunteer application and be here too. So that's always exciting. You want people
yeah.
to spend time here.
Well, I'm sure you'll have plenty of us dropping in to check it out. But from what we can see, I'd say it just looks fabulous. So you should be very proud. I'm sure you had a big hand in a lot of choices that had to be made, incremental choices throughout the entire process.
I told my husband we are never building a house, so I used it all here.
And just so you're seeing, as we wrap up here, just all the messages reiterating. somebody who was in town for Boomtown
Oh,
for
for the
4th
4th
of
of July.
July. Saw the outside, too late to go inside, so I'm sure they'll come back. But
We'll come
thank
back.
you
Yes,
so
come
much,
back and visit.
Darci.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate you taking time out of a very busy week. Um, I and for also saying that this was a process that was not too difficult and no pressure. So hopefully some of your peers will be welcome to join us in the future months. So thanks
Yes,
everybody for
yes,
being here.
you bet.
Okay,
Thank
we'll see
you.
y'all all around the state. Take care.